Imagine a world where false prophets and deceitful priests hold sway, where the sacred has been profaned, and where the righteous path is obscured by darkness. What would such a world look like, and how would the divine respond? In the sacred texts we find answers to these questions. The Lord, through his prophets, warns of a time when even in his house wickedness would be found, a time when those entrusted with spiritual guidance would instead lead his people astray, prophesying by Baal, committing adultery, and walking in lies. This, the Lord says, is like mixing straw with grain. What indeed has straw to do with grain? They are as different as truth is from falsehood, as different as faithful words spoken by a true prophet are from the empty dreams recounted by a false one. Such false prophets and ungodly priests, the Lord warns, would be like slippery paths in the dark. They would be driven on these paths and fall into them. And in the year of their punishment, evil would befall them. They would drink the bitter water of gall, and their wickedness would spread throughout the land. But caution is advised. Do not listen to the words of these false prophets, who prophesy vanity, who fill your hearts with vain hopes. For they speak not from the mouth of the Lord, but from their own minds. They promise peace to those who despise the word of the Lord, and assert that no evil shall come upon those who walk after the stubbornness of their own hearts. And yet, who among them has truly heard his word? Who among them has given attention to it? The Lord's anger will not turn back until he has executed his intentions. In the latter days, the truth of these words will become clear. For the Lord is not a distant deity, but a God at hand. He fills heaven and earth, and no one can hide from his sight. He hears the lies spoken in his name and sees the deceit in the hearts of false prophets. The Lord's word is like fire, consuming all that cannot endure the test, and the prophet who has his word must speak it faithfully. For the Lord did not send these false prophets, yet they ran. He did not speak to them, yet they prophesied. If they had truly heard his words, they would have led his people away from evil, not towards it. So, in a world where false prophets and deceitful priests abound, remember the Lord's words. Discern the wheat from the straw, the true from the false, and walk not on slippery paths in the dark, but towards the light of truth.